The Scottsbluff Police Department gets a grant to have extra patrols on the weekend. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, cruising Broadway and 27th Street in Scottsbluff has been a weekend tradition for generations. In order to help keep cruisers safe, the Scottsbluff Police Department has received a speed enforcement grant to pay officers to work overtime to patrol Broadway and 27th Street. Sergeant Philip Eckerberg said the funding will allow police to address the numerous complaints of speeding and reckless driving that occurs during the cruising time on Friday and Saturdays. Eckerberg says over the last 12 months, there have been more than 140 non-injury crashes, 20 injury crashes, and 1 fatality, as well as 367 citations issued on that cruising route. The grant starts today and continues through August 10th, and its funding is sufficient to pay for 2 officers to be out on the cruise route every Friday and Saturday evening during the grant. Well, the Legacy of the Plains Museum will be hosting the official grand opening of the Japanese Hall and History Project this Saturday. Since 2015, the Japanese Hall and History Project with Legacy of the Plains has planned, relocated, and renovated the hall and exhibits, including a look at the early Issei migration to the U.S. and the High Plains. Museum Director Dave Wolf tells KNEB News that the Japanese have a rich history in the valley.
Yeah, absolutely. The Japanese, traditionally, the first son inherits everything. So if you have a second, third, or fourth son, they're kind of out of luck. So they go look elsewhere. And the United States was a place, as was many immigrants, for a place to be able to go and make something for yourselves. And the railroad brought them out here with work on that. And then when the railroad work kind of dried up, all of a sudden the sugar beet industry started. So it was a very kind of coincidental but lucky because they had work that they can do, and sugar beet was very labor intensive.
The museum will open at 9 a.m. with the grand opening ceremony at the Japanese Hall at 10 a.m. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance, and in retrospect, a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen traveled on Wednesday to Texas to see troops he deployed to assist in securing the southern border. The day-long visit was spent with National Guard airmen and soldiers who have been deployed to the Del Rio area since early April. Pillen said the Nebraska troops are helping stop the influx of criminals, weapons, drugs, and human trafficking into our country. He added they have taken time out of their normal work and family lives to take on a challenge that is important to the nation. And Scottsbluff High School is pleased to announce they have been named the 2024 Nebraska Outstanding Rule 47 Career Academy. These awards are designed to recognize the outstanding achievements of career and technical education programs in junior high and middle schools, high schools, and post-secondary institutions. This is the second time that Scottsbluff High School has received a Nebraska Outstanding Career and Technical Education Program Award, having received Outstanding High School for Career and Technical Education back in 2017.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
It's time for Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
Got cattle behind us, and we're out at a pasture checking on pasture conditions with Jordan Popp, just south of Broken Bow, Nebraska. Jordan, tell me a bit about the operation.
Yeah, so we're mainly a cow-calf operation. We do raise some corn and soybeans, haze some alfalfa, sorghum Sudan grass, and we do have some cover crops that we've used the last couple of years. So what we do is, like with a rye, we do that after chopping silage. And I did some on after soybean ground this past year. For triticale, I've kind of used it in a 2-crop system with haying sorghum Sudan grass right after we cut down the triticale. And so that's kind of worked for us really well.
It's probably been a while since you've seen pastures looking this green as they do today.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. That's something I was talking about with you earlier, is that night and day difference between especially 2 years ago and last year to this year. I mean, we went from everything out here was brown and just had a hard time going. This year, I mean, the cool season grasses really took off once we started to get some more sunlight. But with as much rain as we've gotten this past year, or especially in May, I think we were like 8 inches or so of moisture. And last year, people were kind of wondering, like, do we need to turn the pivots on before we get in the field, or are we going to really cut down on our cow herd? And we got 2 inches of rain in the beginning of May, and that kind of, we got lucky with a lot of moisture throughout the summer, and we made it. Our grass looked pretty good at the end of the year, but people were still really hurting, just a lot of pasture health concerning. And so this year has been a really good rebuilding year for pasture. And I know that's kind of been also a hard time getting in the field. I felt like when I was planting this year, I did it all in the dark because, you find a planting window and you just take it, and it was a little wet, and we took what we got. And there's still some people that we're mainly done with everything as far as row crops go. I've heard of some soybeans in around Sargent that still have yet to go, and maybe a shorter season corn variety for silage for people to plant. But yeah, it's a completely different year for moisture goes, and it's really nice and to be able to look back and actually see some green grass in the pastures, and it's a lot more reassuring in that way, I guess, for a rancher.
Yeah, I'm sure that rain is welcome, but we're approaching a challenging time because I'm sure you're wanting to get in the field and get some hay cut.
Yeah, and I think we probably would have cut our alfalfa probably a good week ago. It's been ready, and just I know some around Ansley have cut their hay down, and unfortunately have got it rained on, and I don't know, it's one issue versus the next, and depends on, what your attitude is. And I think we're a lot better off, but we still also have to have a lot of rain throughout the summer. And
Kind of describe your soil type, where you're at here. I guess you're not technically yet in the sand hills, but have to imagine you've got some sandy soils, at least in places.
Yeah, and we live in a pretty unique ecological range in Nebraska, and so we're only about an hour north of the Platte Valley and an hour south of the sandhills where we sit. And so our pasture is hardland pasture, really good grasses that are able to grow. A typical stocking ratio is about 8 acres to 10 acres per pair, which is a really good number. And like I said, the last couple of years, people kind of had to really push their pasture probably a little too much, and this year you kind of have a little bit more breathing room. But cool season grasses are really taking off, and the biggest thing is that we have a lot more soil moisture for this year. Over the winter, we did get some adequate snowfall, and I felt a lot more comfortable going into like planting and going in or taking cows into pasture. But then, as soon as those April and May, we kind of recovered our subsurface moisture levels, and we're a lot better off.
Fridays in the Field is brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. We'll see you next Friday.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Pet waste and water don't mix. Animal waste decomposes in water, releasing nutrients, which deplete the oxygen fish and other life need to survive and encourage harmful algae growth. Animal waste also has disease-carrying bacteria, making contaminated water unusable. It's easy to prevent pet waste pollution. Simply pick up your pet's waste and dispose of it in a trash can, and avoid letting your pets defecate within 200 feet of our community's waterways. Tri-City Stormwater reminds you it's our water, our responsibility.
High Plains Auto Club presents the 25th Annual Rock and Roll Father's Day Classic, Friday, June 14th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gearing Civic Center. Welcome barbecue, cruise for cash, ice cream social. Saturday, June 15th, parade downtown Gearing at 9 a.m. Show and shine at 5 Rocks from 10 to 4 and awards banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 641-4849. This event is sponsored by Next Level Restoration, Gearing Civic Center, Rural Radio.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the Cattlemen's Ball is this weekend at Schiff Farms in rural Minutair. Thanks to a sponsorship by the Scottsville County Tourism Committee, there is a great complimentary bus shuttle schedule for out-of-town visitors and residents attending this year's event. A full shuttle schedule for Friday and Saturday listing locations for shuttle departures, drop-off locations, and times has been created and can be found on our website. Well, that is it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.